that direction. That is not basically what we need. But then what we are going to do is the interaction between the body system, what goes into the body system. This is whereby if someone comes to your center and then um, has a challenge, by your analysis, you want to know what exactly is going wrong in the body. So let's say if you are requesting for an HB test for the person, you want to know what is really going on the chemistry happening inside the body before you will know what to do next, or that like what medications to issue or what treatment to do. So this is the little I want to say. Thank you.
All right. You've also said yours. That's right. I mean, we actually said that. That's right. Any other?
I've raised my hand.
Okay, let's have you.
Hello.
Let me see.
Yeah, we learned that the cell is the block, is the building block, and the biochemistry is the raw material that we cannot see with our naked eyes. Thank you.
All right, that's true. That's true. We said that. Yeah, we said that. Yes, any other?
Yes, please. Doc.
Yeah, let's have you.
Yes, please. Me, I remember you said rules of a good medical practice, and you said we should practice with kindness, ethic, and honest.
That's
Oh, okay.
yeah. We are talking about biochemistry. The biochemistry, the one we had on Sunday evening, and the network got a problem, and we had to shift it to today.
Oh, okay.
You remember what we said?
Okay. That's my network was disturbing, so
I'm not speaking to Madam Vivian.
yes, please.
Aha, yeah. Okay, so you couldn't hear anything. Anyway, don't worry. I think you have recording, so you can follow that. Mr. Tete, the skin doctor.
No, can I also try?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so this is Christiana. So what I can remember is that you said the human makeup is from the DNA to the organ system. So in between the DNA and then the organ system, we have from the DNA we have the cells. Then from the cells comes to the tissue, then the organ, and then we have the organ system and the organism. That's what I can remember. Thank you.
That's very perfect. You are right. You actually said that. That's a very good one. Yeah. Any other? I can't see the name, so just if you have raised your hand, you can just.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
So actually, during the class on Sunday, I was tired, so I was dozing off. But what I would never forget in the class was the polymers and the monomers.
Exactly.
You went ahead and then you gave example like a table for carbohydrates being the monosaccharide, the lipids being the glycerol, and the proteins, amino acid. I can't remember that. Though I was dozing, but I would never forget those ones.
So you are dozing in our class. Hey.
No. I mean, during the Sunday, I was very, very tired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think subsequently we will try and fix it at the right time so that we all have a.
It's our main problem. The whole class, not only me.
Why? Because of the time, eh?
Because during the evenings, because all of us probably we after work we are tired and then we need to rest, and after that we have to come to class and then learn. So it's very hectic for us. But now it's okay. It was from 3 to 6 and then 6 to 7.
So we'll try our best. So I'll try my best so that we make it on I'll be making it on the right time. That is the 12 to 3.
It will help a lot.
So that, I mean, Sunday evening, everyone is resting with their family and things. So, I mean, I respect that. I mean, we will try not to make it that. Subsequently, next Sunday, we'll try and have it at the right time, okay? Lady Zuzu, let's hear from you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, Mr. NBT. Let me wait. Mr. NBT.
Yes, sir. biochemistry talks about how the various building blocks of life or the body interact with each other to form the body structure and to provide it with energy.
Okay, that's fine. Lady Zuzu, let's hear from you.
It's applied.
Is Zuzu around?
And
Okay, Mr. Adiodu. Okay, right. Exactly. Let's give it up for the man. Let's give it up for man. Let's give it up for man. You are right. You are right. You are right. You are right. He said that. He said that. Any other person said that. He said that. I mean, I'm happy you are. At least you are just reminding me of what we learned. At least you have. It shows that at least some were following, and that's good. So
Yes.
now, if you hear of any somebody is talking, say there's a reaction, a chemical reaction going on. We also talked about the fact that enzymes are catalysts. As part of the inventions of Newberg, we talked about the fact that he invented what enzymes serving as catalysts for chemical reactions. Then the genetic material, that is the RNA, DNA. So we also know that enzymes serve as what catalysts for chemical reactions. We talked about any place, any metabolic reaction, any chemical reaction that is taking place inside the body, we term that's what a metabolic reaction. Now we have two metabolic reactions. We have the anabolic reaction and the catabolic reaction. Then sometimes we have two of them occurring together, and we term it as what an amphibolic, AMPHIBOLIC, amphibolic reaction. So let's continue for today. Um, 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 um. Yeah. Hey, where is it from? Whose daughter is that? Let's try and mute ourselves. We talked about biomolecules, and we said that biomolecules come together to form the cells. They are the basic components that come together to form the building blocks of a cell. Mr. NBT, is your hand up?
No, please.
Then please drop your hand. Your hand is up. Your hand is showing that it's up over here. Then we talked about the organic compounds. And we said that carbon is what? Carbon plays majority role. It's more present in organic compounds. It's one of the is the most abundant living organism. It's abundant in what? Almost all living organisms. So carbon forms part in almost all the organic compounds. You see carbon in lipids. You see carbon in how do you call it? Carbohydrates, proteins. Even if they are not in the primary protein, they bind with other components to form other bigger compounds. So you can see carbon can form immensely diverse compounds from simple to complex. So you see this is a carbon binding with what hydrogen to form methane. That is one carbon compound with what 4 hydrogen ions. Over here, you can see several carbon compounds, and these are all organic compounds. So we are saying that any organic compounds are compounds that contain what? Carbon. They are any compound that you see that has a carbon inside or a carbon bind to it is a what? Is an organic compound. So all those that you see that do not have carbon are what? Are inorganic compounds. Like I said, these are what? These are chemical compounds, and I wouldn't ask you to draw a chemical compound for ether or phenol, or you're not doing organic chemistry here. We are doing biochemistry. If you were doing organic chemistry, then you'll be asked to what? Know some of these things, but we are doing clinical care, biochemistry. So types of biomolecules, we have lipids, phospholipid, glycolipids, vitamins, hormones, neurotransmitters, carbohydrates, and sugars. And monomers, we have aside from this, we have monomers and polymers. These ones, the lipid, glycolipids, phospholipid, glycolipids, and sterols, they can be broken down into lipids and what? Polymers. So the polymers are the peptide, oligopeptide, polypeptides, protein, nucleic acid. They are larger what? Compound. They are larger organic compounds. And when we break them down, we get what? The monomers. We say what? So polymers are what? Polymers are undergo how do you call it? Anabolic reaction to form polymers. And when we want to undergo, when a catabolic reaction occurs and on any of these polymers, they form what? Monomers. Do we believe that? Do we agree with that one? If a polymer undergoes catabolic reaction, there are what? Monomers that are going to be formed. Do we agree with that one?
I think yes, we will agree with that. Meaning that there has been a breakdown of the whatever. There has been a breakdown of the chemicals,
Yes, of the
and that will
yes,
get
of
back to
the,
the
yes, there has been a breakdown of the compound. Yes, there has been
of the compound. Yes, so that's what I wanted to say. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, you are right. You are right. That's it. So we are going to look at water, the composition of normal human being. You're saying that the composition of normal human being ideally is composed of this: about 61% of water, protein is about 70%, lipids about 30%, carbohydrates about 1.5%, minerals 6%. So you see that carbohydrates are not much when it comes to human weight. Why? Because these carbohydrates will convert and be stored in other forms. You understand? Carbohydrates will be stored, and carbohydrates, fats will store more, proteins will store more, but carbohydrates will store less because the carbohydrates are serving as the energy. So they are used every day in, day out, they are being used. So for instance, when you have how do you call it? How do you call it? Excess carbohydrate, it will be stored in the liver as glycogen. Whenever you are hungry, the body will have to go into the liver to go and what? Take the storage. So that is why carbohydrates, percentage is not so high. Even though we take in more carbohydrates, the body uses it for energy to serve as a powerhouse. The fuel for all other organs to function. So the carbohydrates are mostly being used up, but the lipids are mostly being stored. The proteins are being stored. Water is all around circulating, and the minerals are also there to help with what? Electrical activity of the body. You understand? The phosphorus, the sodium, chlorine, and all those ones, the hydrogen and all those ones, they are there to what? They are there to help with normal coordination of the body in terms of chemical reactions. But in that of the carbohydrates, you want to, I'm making you know why carbohydrates have a lower percentage. It's because most of the carbohydrates that we're taking are being used by the body. It's only a few that is stored. And the one that is stored also, whenever we are starving or whenever we are hungry, the body has to go there so that it will go and pick it and change it into a form, a process we call gluconeogenesis. We will learn it in next step. We change it into a process we call gluconeogenesis, so that it provides energy back to the body. So you realize that if you took in Bankun, by the next morning, or maybe the next morning, or the next, maybe after 24 hours, you begin to go hungry. You understand? Yes. So that is it. So basically, this is the composition of chemical composition of a normal man. Chemical composition. Take note. Is there a hand up? Mr. Henry, is your hand up?
Yes, please.
All right, let's have it.
Now, please, just with what you just said, I just want to find out that because of this, the amount of carbohydrates, does it mean we need to take more carbohydrates so that we can all the time, that sustenance will be there? Or, so sometimes when we are talking about food, we are being told that we need to increase that of the protein and then the vegetables, and then we should have less of the carbohydrates. And I just want to have a little clarification about this. Is it the case that the carbohydrate intake should be less, and then the protein and the other intake should be more, or we should rather increase that of the carbohydrate because it's going to be used by the body system to really work as its energy? Thank you.
That's fine. So this is telling you that the percentage the body will store that is the percentage that the body will store. The percentages you are seeing here, it can be that you take in more than that, but that's the percentage that the body will store. Do you understand what I'm saying? For a normal human being, we are saying that for a normal person who is around 65 kg, so it means that as your if you're those with higher weights, like let's say 90 kg, 80 kg, or 100 kg, would have different parameters from this. I get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Those with higher kgs will have different parameters from this. Now, with the issue about you taking in more, no, it's not about you taking in more. You eat your normal carbohydrates, all right. You understand? You eat your normal, because if you tell that go and take in two more carbohydrates too, sometimes it results to other conditions. You understand? It doesn't also mean that you should starve yourself, because if you starve yourself, your chances of going into hypoglycemia is high. So the moderate you can take that the body can make use of, what you have to take. And ideally, everyone takes food when you have food. Ideally, what happens? The reason why normally we say that is that we are used to eating more carbohydrates and reducing that of mineral, that of vegetables, proteins, and those ones. We don't take in them plenty. You see that somebody will eat a whole fufu and maybe he has just one fish on it, or just one small tiny fish, or some just one, small amount of protein. If it happens that way, we are saying that all the components have their function that they play. So if one is in small proportion than the other, the chances of a balanced diet is there, and the repercussions of balanced diet is also more grievous than what we can think of, and a whole lot. So we are saying that just the normal one that you take, the carbohydrates that you take, the normal food that you take is okay. Everything in moderation. You don't have to go and do it overdosed because you want to store a lot of glucose. When it becomes too much too, you find it in your blood. It will lead to hyperglycemia.
Okay.
You understand? So that's why I'm saying that the body finds a way of what? Keeping a threshold of what? Of this percentage for 65 kg person. So let's say if it's a 70 kg person, the body will find a threshold of keeping maybe an amount higher. You understand? When the person is obese, maybe 100, 200, I think 200, 120, maybe 110, 120 thereabouts. That is how can we advise them to work, to be exercising, because they are going beyond the threshold. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we say that the best thing to do is that we need to measure how much carbohydrates carbohydrates we take. We always say because you can't just take anything. If you take, you are going to get into hypoglycemia. If you take more, hyper. And if you also don't, we need to know the actual amount of carbohydrates is really taken.
Oh
So how
yeah,
do we
no,
how do we how then do we calculate the intake of carbohydrates?
I get your question. I get your question. Even with that one, nutritionists also help us in that one, in that way. Make us know that maybe about 30 is it 50 30 30 or something like that. I think 50% of the food carbohydrates, 30% protein, 20% vitamins. They do those things. Number one, the diabetics, the dietitians help in that regard. Yes. And I mean, the amount of carbohydrate that you need to take differs from person to person. For instance, someone who is a diabetic, they would give that person a different regimen than maybe someone who is a non-diabetic. You understand? So ideally, it is very prudent that the moderate amount of carbohydrate food that you take, it should be in proportion. At least the food that you are eating shouldn't be all carbohydrates. You should have some portion of carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, vegetables in there, so that you can get carbohydrate, protein, vitamins in there. So the ideal one is that you have to, I mean, apportion the food such that you get all these ones present. For instance, let's say if the carbohydrate is not a full bowl, maybe you have a half bowl, you have enough stew, a vegetable stew around. You are getting some energy from that one too. Then you have some what? Some protein, maybe some chicken or some fish around. You understand? Then you have water. So all these ones together will not make you go hypo. It will rather make you get all the amount of minerals that you need. Do you understand?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. So please, henceforth, let's write our questions down, or else we will not go now. Okay. If you have a question, just note it down. Then I'll open